This is an older idea from this administration. How would it work?
Right. Well, it is a very old idea that she's taking from Biden's Bring Back Better plan of 2021. And that was when, we were out of COVID and people were starting to go back to work and looking at the absolutely staggering cost of childcare, which for many people means the difference between working just to pay for childcare and working. So this is something that not only affects middle class and lower income people, also, all working women are concerned about the cost of childcare, and capping it at 7% is a pretty small percentage given what a lot of people pay for childcare. And it's something she'll have to get through Congress, so it'll be interesting to see how that'll all play out.
The big news from the other campaign today was SALT, which is something that we talk about a lot around here on
yes,
Bloomberg. I'm assuming
do.
Outside of certain states like
Instant
New York and Connecticut.
spike.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah.
Not exactly a household conversation for all Americans, but Donald Trump went there. The quote is everything. I will turn it around, get SALT back, lower your taxes, and so much more.
But
where did this come from to begin with?
Donald Trump.
Okay.
Donald Trump, it was in his 2017 tax law. He capped the state and local income tax at $10,000, which for people in a lot of Trump country states is plenty. Yeah. For people in New York, New Jersey, California, other really high-cost states, $10,000 of property tax is barely enough.
So is he arguing with his own tax policy?
Yes, he is now going against his own tax policy, but he's been in this pattern lately where he is throwing out, it seems desperate. I don't know if he really is feeling desperate, but certainly seems desperate. It's like IVF for everyone. I'll take back the SALT thing. I'm great for women. I'll do this. And there are just these unthought out policy proposals that aren't backed up by details. To be fair, Kamala Harris hasn't really backed up hers with a lot of details either. But he's just throwing things on the wall to see if they'll stick.
Well, and a lot of them do pertain to taxes specifically. Now the SALT cap deduction is not going to be capped anymore. No tax on Social Security, no tax on tipped income, no tax on overtime hours, lower taxes for corporations. Where is the Republican ethos of fiscal responsibility in any of these plans?
Well, exactly, because what that means is there isn't enough money to run the government. Someone was suggesting that if you took the Pentagon is obviously the biggest budget item in the United States, but you couldn't fund anything else if all of Donald Trump's tax cuts go through. And then the tariffs plan will also raise prices for consumers.
But he says that will raise revenue as well.
He says it will raise revenue as well. A lot of economists don't agree. So none of this adds up if you stop and think about it. But what he is doing is throwing red meat out there at his rallies. And our own Bloomberg News Morning Consult poll has shown we did a blind taste test of a lot of economic policies, not saying who proposed them. But if you say tax cut, 80% of swing state voters say bring it on. So it's going to be really interesting to see what will fly.